provides this module provides abstraction on plain JDBC technology and simplifies JDBC style persistence logic. Literally simplifies JDBC style persistence logic. Look at this, guys. Yeah, lots of people are asking me what is persistence logic. And nothing is there. The way you perform insert record, delete record, update record, select record operations on DB table. Okay, what logic you use it for that is called persistence logic. The logic that you use for that operation is called persistence logic. The process of storing and managing data for a long time is called persistence. The place where data will be saved and managed for a long time is called persistence store. Is called persistence store. Example, files and database software space. The data stored in persistence store is called persistent data. Files data, DB table records are called persistent data. Insert, update, delete, and select operation performed on the persistent data of persistence store are called persistence operations. Process of storing data for long time persistence. Where the data is stored for long time is called persistence store. The data available in persistence store is called persistent data. Okay. Insert, update, delete, select operation that we perform on persistent data of persistence store are called persistence operations. These persistence operations also called as CORD operations or CRUD operations. CORD operations or CRUD operations. Everyone getting my point? C for create, U for update, R for read, D for delete. CORD operations are CRUD operations. Everyone getting my point? C for create, nothing but inserting record. U for update. The Indian says CORD, foreigner says CRUD, guys. Because in our food culture, CORD is there. In foreigners' food culture, there is no CORD, right? Okay, achha, both I have written CRUD. Both I have written CORD only, na? Okay, let me write CRUD also. Yeah. R for read, select operation. D for delete, remove record. The logic using which we perform persistence operations is called persistence logic. Is definitely called persistence logic, guys. What are the examples for persistence logic, guys? JDBC code, Spring JDBC code, Spring ORM code, Hibernate code. All these logics together, we call it as what? Persistence logic. Okay, whatever JDBC code you have written in advanced Java, that is called persistence logic. The technology or framework using which we write the persistence logic, using which the persistence logic is developed is called persistence technology or framework. Persistence technology or framework, guys. JDBC persistence technology, Spring JDBC persistence framework, Spring ORM persistence framework. Okay, these are the modules of the Spring framework or not? These are the modules of the Spring framework. These are the modules of the Spring framework. Convinced, my dear? Okay, I will give one single line statement, guys. Persistence technology or framework is given to develop the persistence logic for performing the persistence operations on the persistence data of persistence stores. Yeah, both are part of our syllabus, don't you? Both are part of our syllabus, guys. Persistence technology or framework is given to develop uh, the persistence logic for performing the persistence operations on the persistent data of persistence stored. On the persistent data of persistence stored. All words are concluded in a single line, boss. JDBC is a persistence technology that is given to develop persistence logic for performing persistence operation, CORD operations on the persistence store called database software. Spring JDBC is a framework is given to develop persistence logic for performing persistence operation on the persistent data of persistence store. Clear, guys? Are a lot of persistence. Huh? Okay. Because all these are terminologies related to persistence, guys. I hope you got the clarity, guys. So knowingly, unknowingly, while learning JDBC, you learn persistence technology. While learning Spring JDBC, you can say you developed persistence framework. Developer develops the Spring application, guys. That Spring application uses Spring JDBC, guys. Spring JDBC uses plain JDBC technology, guys. And plain JDBC technology interacts with the database of. This plain JDBC technology interacts with the database of, right? Developer develops the Spring application. Spring application uses Spring JDBC. Spring JDBC is developed based on plain JDBC. And plain JDBC interacts with the database of. Everyone understanding? This is the hierarchy, boss. This is the hierarchy. Super. Now the question that eats your brain is, when we have plain JDBC technology, why should we think about Spring JDBC? Why should we think about Spring JDBC? Shall we concentrate on that point, guys? Plain JDBC application. Technology application development, guys. Technology-based application development. Array, regular JDBC, advanced Java, plain JDBC. Load JDBC driver class. Establish the connection with the database software. Create statement object. Send and execute SQL queries in database software. Gather SQL query results and process the results. Close the connection with the database software, guys. Observe very carefully. First three, last one. Common logics na, boss. First three, last one. Common logics na, boss. In the middle, two statements are there. They are called application specific logics na, boss. Why these are called common logics, guys? We discussed these things in the initial classes also, if you remember that. Why these are called common logics, guys? If you develop 20 JDBC application, first three, last one, logics will be repeated every time. First three logics, last one logic will be repeated every time or not. These two logics will change application to application. So while working with the technology-based application development, what we should do? We should write both common logics and specific logics, na, boss. These common logics is called boilerplate code. What is boilerplate code, guys? the code that repeats in multiple parts of the project, either with no changes or with minor changes, is called boilerplate code or not? Either with no changes or with minor changes is called boilerplate code. So while working with JDBC technology, programmer needs to deal with both common logics and specific logic, guys. Here the programmer will be overburdened or not? Here the programmer will be overburdened or not? I want reply, boss. Plain JDBC application is having boilerplate code problem. Common logic should be repeated in multiple parts of the project. Super. Look at Spring JDBC application, which is a framework application. Create JDBC template class object, either manually or through IOC container. It will take care of common logics now, boss. Later, we have to just worry about application specific logic. So that means, are you going to develop common logics manually? They will be generated dynamically as needed or not? They will be generated dynamically as needed or not? I want reply. Framework will take care of common logics generation. Okay, guys. Spring JDBC provides abstraction on plain JDBC technology. That means it internally uses plain JDBC technology to generate the common logics dynamic. Clear, my dear? Generate the common logics dynamically. But does not make the programmers worry about it. This is called Spring JDBC providing abstraction on plain JDBC technology. This is called Spring JDBC providing abstraction on plain JDBC technology. Plain JDBC technology. Limitations of plain JDBC technology. Limitations of plain JDBC technology, boss. Rises the boilerplate code problem, right? Rises the boilerplate code problem. Are you understanding my statement, guys? There is boilerplate code problem. Burden on the programmer will be more because it needs to take care of both application specific logics and common logics. Because it needs to take care of both application specific logics and common logics. Clear, boss? It needs to take care of both application specific logics and common logics, boss. Okay, guys. All exceptions in JDBC are checked exception. So the developer must catch and handle the exception, right, boss? In JDBC, what is the exception we get, guys? SQL exception. So we must catch and handle the exception or not? We must catch and handle the exception or not? I want reply, boss. Compulsory, we should catch and handle the exception, right, boss? Yeah. Supports only positional parameters. Array, we can take only question mark symbols as the positional parameters, guys. We can take only question mark symbols as the parameters in the query. No support for named parameters, right? That means we cannot give name to the parameters. We can take only question mark symbols in the query. We can take only question mark symbols in the query. Are you getting my point? Supports only positional params in SQL queries. That means no support for named parameters. That means no support for named parameters. Is that clear, guys? JDBC result set object is non-serializable object, guys. So we cannot send that object over the network. Clear? JDBC result set object is non-serializable object. So we cannot send that object over the network. Is that clear, boss? Can we send that object over the network? Can we really send that object over the network? Come on. And if you want to send object data over the network, object must be taken as serializable object. Recollect your core Java IO streams knowledge. Yes, boss. Row set object we can send, but result set object we cannot send. No proper support for transaction management, boss. There is no proper support for transaction management, right? Okay, Sachin Yadav, layer to layer is not important. Between those two layers, network should be there. Between those two layers, network should be there. No proper support for transaction management. Let us try to understand what is transaction management. The process of combining multiple related operations into single unit and executing them by applying do everything or nothing principle is called transaction management. The process of combining related operations into single unit and executing them by applying do everything or nothing principle is called transaction management. Agree with me, boss? Got the clarity, my dear? Executing them by applying do everything or nothing principle is called transaction management. Is called transaction management. Is called transaction management. It is the process of combining related operations into single unit and executing them by applying do everything or nothing principle is called transaction management. Okay. The transfer money operation is having how many operations, guys? Two. Withdraw money from source account, right? Deposit money into destination account. Withdraw money from source account, deposit money into destination account, right, boss? Yeah, tell me, if completed, both should be completed. If one operation fails, other operation must be failed, right? Both these operations must be executed together by applying do everything or nothing principle. This needs transaction management. For example, withdraw operation failed. Deposit operation should be failed. Withdraw successful, deposit failed. Then withdraw operation should be rolled back. There is no proper support. There is no proper environment in JDBC for transaction management. That is what I'm trying to say, guys. If success, all success. If one fails, all fail. Okay, these are the problems with plain JDBC technology, guys. Boilerplate code problem. Programmer is having more burden. All exceptions are checked, so we must catch and handle the exception. Supports only positional parameters, guys. No support for named parameters. Result set object is not serializable object, so we cannot send it its data over the network. No proper support for transaction management. Shall we observe Spring JDBC advantages, guys? Shall we understand Spring JDBC advantages? Provides the abstraction on plain JDBC technology and simplifies the application development process. Clear, my dear? Got the clarity, boss? Only application specific logics we need to develop. No need of developing any common logics, right? Avoids the boilerplate code problem. Since we are not developing common logics, is there any need of dealing with boilerplate code problem, guys? Supports both positional parameter question mark and named parameters. Array, for the parameters we keep in the query, we can have question mark symbol. They are called positional parameter. Names also can be there, guys. For every parameter, we can provide the name. For every parameter, we can provide the name. Is it not interesting, Rababu? For every parameter, we can give the name. Understanding my statement? Super, guys. Tell me. Spring JDBC throws unchecked exceptions. Spring JDBC throws unchecked exception. That means exception handling is optional, boss. That means exception handling is purely optional. Exception handling is purely optional, guys. Are you understanding my statement, guys? Spring JDBC allows us to get select query results in our choice format. That means there is no need of dealing with the result set object directly. Suppose I want to store results in plain JDBC. I want to send result set record as a collection data, list collection data. We have to convert result set records into list collection or not. We need to convert result set records into list collection or not. Come on, boss. We need to convert result set records into list collection or not. Come on, guys. In plain JDBC, whenever select query executed, we get result set object. Now I want to see those result set records into list collection. We should manually write a logic to convert result set records into list collection. Yes, because in plain JDBC, select query means result set common. You want in other form, you have to get the result set. From there, you have to convert into other form, right? But in Spring JDBC, what's the advantage? We have direct methods, guys. Query for list, query for map, query for object. When you use these methods, guys, select query results will come directly in the form of list collection, in the form of object, in the form of map. You will get directly in the form of map collection, directly in the form of list collection. We have a direct method to get the select query results in different formats. Super guy. Gives good support for transaction management. In Spring JDBC, we have a great support to deal with the transaction management. Are you understanding my statement, guys? Spring JDBC throws unchecked exception. Sandeep Pandya, please Ra Babu. If you don't listen, don't change the statement. Sandeep Pandya, it is the right statement. Plain JDBC throws checked exceptions. Spring JDBC throws what? Unchecked exception. That's why exception handling is optional in Spring JDBC. Gives good support for transaction management. Here we have good support, guys. In plain JDBC, no proper support. Here, good support is there. Yeah, here one important thing. Provides callback interfaces to generate the customized results. Listen carefully. What is the specialty of these callback interfaces? They provide basic JDBC objects like connection statement kind of thing. They provide basic JDBC objects like connection statement kind of thing. Come on, guys. Using those objects, we can write plain JDBC code to get the results in whatever the form you want. To get the results in whatever the form you want. In whatever the style you want. In whatever the mode you want. Are you listening my statement, guys? In whatever the mode you want. In whatever the mode you want. No. Here we have a direct methods to give results in whatever form. Here we should write the code. You should write the plain JDBC code to get the results in the whatever form you want. Array, listen, they have given 200 methods to get the results in different format. Are they sufficient, guys? You may have 201 requirement. You may have 202 requirement. But writing every logic from scratch level is not good enough. What these callback interfaces, they provide basic objects to you. And using those objects, we write the remaining code in plain JDBC. Remaining code in plain JDBC to get the customized results in the form you want. To get the customized results in the form you want. I'll take one real life example to understand this in a better manner. Okay. You got a job in the company, boss. You got a job in the company. You decided to go to company by staying in the PZ or hostel. Okay. What's the best part in hostel, guys? You need not to do anything. Everything happens on time. You can focus on going to office, coming back to our PZ. Breakfast will be served on time. Lunch will be served on time. Dinner will be served on time. Cleaning of your room happens on time. Water supply will happen on time. Everything happens on time, right? Hostel people will take care of everything. This is like framework, boss. This is like framework, right? Framework, direct methods, ready-made methods. Everything they take care, you have to just focus on going to office, coming back to this. Yeah, we have another option, guys. Stay in a flat, go to office, come back to office. What's the problem in staying in flat, guys? You need to take care of water problem. You need to prepare the food. You need to take care of cleaning. Everything you should take care, right? Everything you need to take care. But one advantage is there. You can eat your choice food. You can eat healthy food. You can eat homemade food, right now, boss? Advantage is also there, boss. Advantage. You have dedicated Wi-Fi. Lot of freedom for you. In hostel, everything is taken care by hostel, but eating hostel food is very heavy. Health issues may come. Are you understanding my statement? So in framework style, everything is taken care, but some restrictions. In plain just JDBC technology style, flat, staying in flat, everything is in your control, but burden on the developer. Burden on the developer, right now, boss? Okay, I want some via media solution. What is that via media solution? You stay in hostel, but in every room of the hostel, small kitchen should be provided. Small kitchen should be provided. Are you listening my statement, guys? Arey, Swiggy also outside food, na? It's not good for health, right? In every room of the hostel, small kitchen should be provided. Okay, guys. What's the advantage, guys? What's the advantage? The day you like hostel food, you will eat the food. The day you don't like the hostel food, the day you feel you are free, the day you feel you are free, you will cook the food. So both problems are solved now, boss. Though you are staying in hostel, you are having somewhat comfort of flat by cooking food on your own. So the day you are busy, you can adjust with hostel food. The day you are free, you can cook the food on your own. Right, guys? So callback interfaces gives the same comfort. Callback interfaces gives the same comfort. These interfaces provide some basic objects like connection statement. Using those objects, we can write remaining code in plain JDBC to get the results in whatever the choice you want, whatever the format you want, whatever the style you want. Convinced, my dear? Dilochan Naik, in hostel only, but budget will be controlled, Ra Babu. In flat, it is not control. In flat, you have to take care of everything on your own, right, boss? Okay, I think you understood Spring JDBC advantages, guys. Because of these advantages, tell me, boss. Okay, Spring JDBC is simplifying your life compared to plain JDBC. Spring JDBC is simplifying your life compared to plain JDBC. Super, guys. Look at Spring JDBC application. Raghavendra Tandedkar, I said dedicated Wi-Fi, not dedicated wife. Okay. I said Wi-Fi. You said Wi-Fi. Super then. Okay. That is also fact now, boss. If you married, you'll be having dedicated girl. For boy, you'll be having dedicated girl. For girl, dedicated boy will be there. Are you understanding my statement? Shall we move to next level discussion, guys? Yeah. Spring JDBC application, guys. Operations. Activating JDBC driver software. Who will take care, guys? Spring JDBC will take care of, programmer will take care of Spring JDBC. Common logics ra babu. Establishing connection with the database software, Spring JDBC. Creating statement objects, Spring JDBC. Preparing SQL query, writing SQL queries, programmer. Setting values to SQL query parameters, programmer, right? Executing SQL query in database software. Executing SQL queries in database software. Who will take care? Preparing is my responsibility. Execution is taken care by Spring JDBC only. Processing the results and results of SQL queries. Who will take care? Spring JDBC will take care. Exception handling. Spring JDBC will take care. Closing connection with the database software. Who will take care? Spring JDBC will take care. Only few operations are taken care by developer. Remaining all operations are taken care by whom, guys? Spring JDBC. Life will be simplified while working with Spring JDBC or not? Definitely life will be simplified while working with Spring JDBC or not? I want reply. I want reply from you people. F and G na. Executing SQL queries, Rabab. Once you prepare and give the query, taking that query, sending to database software, executing query, everything will be taken care by whom, guys? Everything will be taken care by whom? Spring JDBC only, right? Okay, whatever results we got, the processing those results and giving customized results will be taken care by whom? Spring JDBC only. Come on, my dear. Your work is just preparing the queries and setting values to queries. Remaining everything else, we can blindly test Spring JDBC or not. Yes or no, na boss? Super, guys. Okay. Different ways of developing persistence logic using Spring JDBC, guys. Using JDBC template, that's the one approach. Using named parameter JDBC template, super. Using simple JDBC template, removed from Spring JDBC 4.x. Removed from Spring JDBC 4.x, right? Using simple JDBC, insert simple JDBC call. Mapping SQL operations as inner classes, very complex and not industry standard. So though I have listed 5, how many things we are going to learn, guys? 3 things. JDBC template, named parameter JDBC template, simple JDBC insert, simple JDBC call. Total 3 things we are going to learn or not? Okay, now listen carefully, boss. Listen. Spring has got so old, guys. Spring is so old. Time to time it is evolved. So it's my responsibility or any trainer responsibility, okay, not to teach unnecessary things, old things, outdated things. Teach only those things that are required for the interview, that are required for the survival of the job. Everyone understanding? Spring is there in the market from 2004. Yes, na boss? 2004. And so many versions are released. So many approaches of programming is given. So we are not here. We are not here to learn everything that is having Spring. We should learn those things that are currently used in the projects, that are currently asked in the interview rooms. That's why I'm giving idea. They are there, but we are not focusing much what to be learned. We are not. We are focusing much on what to be learned and what is required for interview room, what is required for the survival of the job. That's why observe. I only highlighted simple JDBC template is there, but I said removed from Spring 4.x, so no need of learning. So mapping SQL operations as inner classes, very complex and not industry standard. Complex, we can bear it. But when it is not industry standard, there's no meaning of spending time on it. So that's why we are going to learn Spring JDBC using all the three approaches. All the three approaches. But one more small thing, guys. Before getting to first approach or any approach, first of all, you want to talk to any database software from Java application, we need to establish the connection with the database software now, boss. Right? Okay. If you study JDBC properly, it is better to work with direct connection or pooled connection. Direct JDBC connection or pooled JDBC connection. Anyone heard these terminologies? Okay. If you don't heard, no problem, I will explain. Direct JDBC connection means you created it manually by using driver manager dot get connection method. Pooled JDBC connection object means it is the connection object that is gathered from JDBC connection. And industry standard is pooled JDBC connection object. Yeah, now I'm going to talk about what is JDBC connection tool, how it is good compared to normal direct JDBC connection object. In JDBC classes, whatever you have learned, class dot for name, driver manager dot get connection, all these things deal with what? Direct JDBC connection was. They deal with what, guys? Direct JDBC connection. Agree with me, my dear? They definitely deal with what? Direct JDBC connection, boss. Come on. Please, I'm going to launch connection pool. Stop guessing about connection pool. Ravi Kushwa asked, sir, connection pool contains objects, sir. A connection pool contains object. That's why it is called connection pool, right? Please. In any approach of Spring JDBC programming, we need JDBC connection to interact with the database. How many types of JDBC connection objects are there? Two are there. Direct connection, pooled JDBC connection. What do you mean by direct connection, guys? It is the JDBC connection that is created manually. How, guys? Connection con is equal to driver manager dot get connection. Right now, boss? This is what you learned in advanced Java classes, JDBC classes. This is what you learned in JDBC classes, right? But this is not the best. This is just for time pass. Entire industry prefers pooled JDBC connection. What do you mean by pooled JDBC connection? It is the connection object that is gathered from JDBC connection pool. What is JDBC connection pool, guys? JDBC connection pool is a factory that contains set of readily available JDBC connection objects. So whenever we have a need, collect the connection object from connection pool, use it. Once work is done, release it back to connection. Okay. Another requirement came up, collect one more connection object, use it. Once work is done, keep it back to connection. Direct connection object is like, you need a book, you purchase a book. Pooled connection object is like, you need a book, you got book from the library on rental basis. Once reading is finished, you return the book back to library. So that same book can be used by others. Which is good option, guys. Where books have got more reusability, boss. Where books have got more reusability, boss. Library books have got more reusability. You need not to purchase the book. You have to just pay rental for the book. Right now, boss? You have to just pay rental for the book. Is it not interesting? Pooled connection object is like book collected from the library. Direct connection object is like book directly purchased. Alexa, activate balcony central light. It is the connection object that is gathered from JDBC connection. JDBC data source object represents JDBC connection pool. That means each connection object from connection pool must be gathered using this data source object. Must be gathered using this data source object. Data source object represents JDBC connection pool. Okay, DS dot get connection gives one connection object from connection. DS dot get connection gives one connection object from connection. Convinced, my dear? DS dot get connection gives one connection object from connection pool, guys. Tell me, JDBC connection pool for Arkil. All these are connection objects that are readily available. Who represent this connection pool? Data source object. One more object, guys. If you want to put connection objects in connection pool, if you want to increase the connection objects, if you want to decrease the connection object, if you want to get the connection object from connection pool, for all these things, we need same data source object. We need the same data source object. Got it? We need the same data source object. See, guys, DS is representing connection pool. DS dot get connection is giving me pooled JDBC connection object or not? Is giving me pooled JDBC connection object or not? Tell me what's the beauty? Here ready-made connection objects are there. Whenever we want, you can take the connection object through data source object, use it. Once work is done, okay, return it back. Return it back. Right. How to create this connection pool? You don't worry, Babu. First, concentrate. Enjoy the concept. Enjoy the concept. What I said, connection objects are already readily available. So while creating connection object, we need to pass username, password. Or while using connection object, you have to pass username, password. Connection pool contains readily available connection objects, right? So since readily available connection objects are there, to get the connection object from connection pool through data source object, is there any need of passing username, password here? Because pool contains already created connection objects, right now, boss? J&A registry contains different types of objects, right? Whereas connection pool contains same connection objects. Okay. Mr. Sachin Yadav, when all connection objects are same database connection object, if it gives any connection object any issue, JDBC connection pool for Oracle, all connection objects in this connection pool represent connectivity with the same Oracle database software. So when you call get connection method, if you get the first one or second one or third one or fourth one, is there any difference? In the library, same book 10 copies are there. You asked for that book based on the title. They released one copy of book. Whether you got first copy or 10th copy or 9th copy, how does it matter, Ra? Sachinazu, can you use your common sense? All connection objects in connection pool represents connectivity with the same database software. For every database, you can have a separate connection pool. All connection objects in connection pool represents connectivity with the same connection objects. Connectivity with the same database software, right? I think few days back, I have given difference between pool and cache. Pool means set of same items. Cache means set of different items. So JDBC connection pool means first connection object to last connection object. All are same objects or not. These are like twins kind of objects or not? Sir, what about different data? For different databases, you create different connection pools, guys. Data source 1 represent JDBC connection pool for MySQL. Database data source 3 object represents JDBC connection pool for PostgreSQL, right? You can create any number of connection pools. For every database software, you can create a separate connection pool, my dear. Okay. Mr. Ramanjanailu, I said data source object is responsible to create connection object, to read connection objects, to increase, to decrease connection objects, right? After listening entire Ramayana, if you ask me who creates the connection pool, means what can I do, Ra Babu? Can you focus on the class, my dear? Who is responsible to do everything on the connection pool? Data source object. Who is responsible to create this pool? Data source. Who is responsible to add more connection objects in connection pool? Okay. Yeah, we have different methods for different activities. Data source object. Who is responsible to get the connection object? Data source. Who is responsible? Array, object pool means objects will be there. Connection pool means connection objects will be there. Student pool means students will be there. Money pool means money will be there. What is there in that, Rababu? Ankit, you know the word object pool. Okay. Connection pool means connection objects will be there. Student pool means student objects will be there. Customer pool means customer objects will be there. Are you understanding my statement? Guys, how to create this data source object, I will explain later. First, can you concentrate on the concept? When I talk concept, you worry about theory, programming. When I teach programming, you worry about concept. What is this behavior, Mr. Farooq? When I'm launching concept means definitely I'll introduce coding part also now, 1 hour other time. Guys, I should not teach how to study the subjects, right? Okay, now listen. I'm giving important statements about JDBC connection pool, guys. About JDBC connection pool. It's a factory that contains set of readily available JDBC connection objects before actually being used. All JDBC connection objects in connection pool represents connectivity with the same database software. JDBC connection pool for Oracle means all connection objects in that connection pool represents connectivity with the same Oracle database software. For every database software, we need to take separate JDBC connection pool. JDBC connection pool for Oracle, JDBC connection pool for MySQL, JDBC connection pool for PostgreSQL. Data source object 1 represents connectivity with connection pool 1. Data source object 2 represents connectivity with another connection pool. Data source object 3 represents connectivity with another connection. Come on, guys. For every database software, we need to take separate JDBC connection pool or not. At least now you got the clarity. Those who are having confusion, for every database software, we need to take separate JDBC connection. Representing every connection pool, one data source object will be there. And you don't believe, guys, while managing the JDBC connection, we can specify the following parameters. A, we can specify the following parameter. Initial size, initial pool size. What do you mean by initial pool size? How many connection objects should be there in the connection pool initial? How many connection objects should be there in the connection pool initial? Everyone getting my point there, guys? Minimum JDBC connection objects in the pool. Right, guys. We can specify all these parameters. How I will explain. Max pool size. Max JDBC connection objects in the pool. Next. Ideal timeout period. What is there, guys? Ideal timeout period. If any connection object is continuously idle for certain amount of time, it will be destroyed automatically from the connection pool. Yeah. If connection object is continuously idle, then it will be deleted from the deleted. Then it will be deleted from the pool. Like this, we can specify the parameters. For every pool, we can mention some parameters. While creating pool, we can specify these parameters. Everyone understanding, guys? Everything is there in our control only. Don't worry about it. Data source object means it is the object of Java class that implements Java x.sql data source interface. Everyone understanding? So when I say data source object, is it the object of a class that implements data source interface? Connection object also same story in boss. It is the object of a class that implements connection interface. Statement object also same story in boss. It is the object of a class that implements statement interface. Right now, boss? Convinced, my dear? Convinced, my dear? Okay, always remember one thing. In any core Java, advanced Java framework program, you are calling object name with interface name means it is not the object of interface. It is the object of a class that implements the interface. Come on, guys. It is the object of a class that implements the interface. Convinced, my dear? Got the clarity, boss? It is the object of a class that implements the interface. Data source object. It is the object of a class that implements data source interface. Connection object. It is the object of a class that implements connection interface, right? And I cannot remember each student name, Babu. I cannot name, call with your name. I can call with your common name, na boss. My dear student, right? My dear student. So I am indirectly representing every one of yours, na boss. I am referring with common name or not. Can we create object for interfaces? No. But still we are calling object name as interface name means, is it the object created for interface? No. It is the object of a class that implements the interface. It is the object of a class that implements the interface. Clear, guys? Yeah. I think already we had a discussion on this. What is the difference between pool and cache? Pool, set of same items. All are same items. Cache, set of different items. Pool gives reusability of same items. Cache gives reusability of different items. To implement this in Java, we take the support of list collection where duplicates are allowed. To implement this in Java, we take the support of map collection. Why, sir? Map values must be unique. That means different items are allowed. Moreover, every item can be remembered with a key. Every item can be remembered with a key. Map collection, each element contains one key and one value, na boss. Okay, storing different items is not so important. Along with that, we should be in a position to access them, right? So key is required to identify each item or not. Key is required to identify each item or not. We take the support of map collection where keys can be used to identify the values. Super. Two types of JDBC connection pools, guys. How many types of connection pools? See, two types of connection objects. Direct, pooled. Connection pools wise, two types. I hope no confusion here. Two types of JDBC connection pools. Clear, guys? Clear, guys? I hope you are understanding. Connection objects are two types, direct and pooled. Direct connection is waste, guys. Pooled connection is great. Okay, now I am talking about different types of connection pools. Standalone JDBC connection pool, server managed JDBC connection pool. Okay, first listen carefully. The connection pool that is created and used in standalone applications, independent connection pools are called standalone connection pools, guys. Generally, we prefer to use those connection pool in standalone Java applications. Okay, the best example for standalone connection pools are Hikari CP. Okay, Tomcat CP, you may confuse because same word is also there in server level. Okay, Proxul, Apache DBCP2, Oracle UCP, all these are standalone connection pools, guys. The best is Hikari CP. CP means connection pool. DBCP means Oracle connection, database connection pool. UCP means universal connection pool. All our CP means connection pool, guys. Yeah, these are independent connection pool softwares, guys. Wherever you want, you can use it and take it and use it. Generally, in standalone applications, we use this connection. Sir, what do you mean by server managed JDBC connection pool? We develop the web application. To run the web application, we keep web servers and application servers ready. Guys, the people who know Servlet JSP should recognize these terminologies. Come on, boss. Can you respond, guys? Yeah, it is the JDBC connection pool that is created and managed in server, web server or application server. Web server or application server, guys. If your application is a deployable application in web server or application server, like web application, distributed application, then prefer using server managed JDBC connection. Then prefer using server managed JDBC connection. Is that clear, my dear? Tomcat managed connection pool, WebLogic managed connection pool, Glassfish managed connection pool, Tomcat, WebLogic, Glassfish, all these are the servers. All these are the servers, guys. Convinced, boss? So if your project is standalone project, go for standalone connection pool. If your application project is deployable in the servers, then prefer using server managed connection. Interviewer asks the question. Which JDBC connection pool should be preferred in our Spring applications or projects? Very standard interview question. What is the connection pool that we have used in our Spring application? If my Spring application is standalone application, if my Spring project is standalone project, then prefer standalone JDBC connection. Clear, guys? Like Hikari CP is the best. If our Spring application is web application, deployable in web server or application server, then prefer what? Server managed JDBC connection. Right now, Wildfly server is doing well, guys. Wildfly managed JDBC connection pool is industry standard. Wildfly managed JDBC connection pool is industry standard. Clear, my dear? Got the clarity, boss? See this? If your Spring application is standalone, then prefer using standalone JDBC connection pool. Hikari CP is the best. If your Spring application is web application, Spring MVC application, guys, or distributed application, then prefer using server managed JDBC connection. As on today, Wildfly server is the best application server. So prefer using Wildfly server managed second connection pool. And second priority is Tomcat server. Come on, guys. Can I ask a few questions on connection pool? Okay. Direct connection is good or pooled connection is good? Pooled connection. Okay. For different databases, I want different pooled connection. I should create one connection pool or multiple connection pools? Multiple connection pool. Sabaz, you are not listening class. Jump into the drain after a class. You are the only one person given wrong answer. Lavanya, you too. I want to connect to different database software using pooled connections. Should I create one connection pool or multiple connection pools? Raghavendra, why don't you jump into the drainage, guys? After repeating question also, still people are saying one. All connection objects in connection pool represents connectivity with single database software or different database software. Single, right? For different database software, we need to take different connection pools or same connection pool. Shame on you guys. Where you listen the classes, Bob? I'm explaining, giving diagrams, clear-cut statements, real-life examples. But still, okay, once again, I'm repeating the question. For different database softwares, I want to interact by using pooled connections. Tell me, I should be ready with one connection pool or multiple connection pools? Any confusion in this? Why? All connection objects in connection pool represents connectivity with what? Same database software or different database software? Same database software, right? Okay, guys. How many types of connection pools are there in the market? Two types. In standalone application, what connection pool is preferred? Standalone connection pool. Standalone connection pool. In standalone, who is market leader? Hikari CP, right? Okay, my application is deployable in the server. Which connection pool I should prefer? Server managed, right? Okay, right now which server is popular? Wildfly server is popular, right, boss? Okay, guys. Now tell me different modes of Spring application, Spring JDBC application configuration. Spring JDBC application configuration. Yeah, while developing Spring JDBC application, guys, we can give instruction to IOC container in 3 ways. XML driven configuration, annotation driven configuration, 100% code driven configuration. Who is best in the market, guys? XML plus annotation is. Wherever annotation is possible, prefer annotation. Wherever annotation is not possible, prefer XML. XML plus annotation is industry standard or not? Yes. Okay. Tomorrow is holiday, guys. Tomorrow is holiday on the view of Ugadi. On the view of Ugadi. Okay. So our next class will be on what, guys? Our next class will be on Thursday. Thursday evening, same timing. I hope I have shared new advanced Java meeting ID. New advanced Java batch meeting ID I shared now, boss. Right. Full stack students can come, but some separate registration is required with discount. You want my content, which is real-time industry standard? Okay. So definitely some special treatment is required. Are you enjoying the classes that I am conducting here? At least you understood how to study the subject, how to get into the coding, how to interpret the subject. At least your confidence is increasing now, boss. At least approach of dealing with the problem solution is you understood, boss. Because so many faculty, so many students show more interest on coding. But without background preparation, if you do coding, you never become good programmer. At least you realized that. At least you realized that concept is very, very important. 4 W's are very important before you go for coding. What is that? Why it is that? Where it is used? Okay, where it is used? And what are the things to do to learn it? What are the things to do to learn it? Right now, boss? Right. Advanced Java 90 sessions, boss. So if you apply 4 W's in any learning process, you can enjoy learning like anything, boss. Spring JDBC, this is today's introduction. Sai Kiran, yes, answer is yes.